Hello and welcome to this very special podcast interview with none other than very senior advocate in the Supreme Court of India and legal mind of this country, Mr. Prashant Bhushan. Thank you so much, sir, for agreeing to do this interview. So recently you wrote an article with the title Stifling Democracy Sans Emergency. What did you actually mean by that and why did you write this? What did you want to convey?
See, generally people say that the emergency was the darkest period for Indian democracy. But if we look at what the country is going through at the present time, then in many ways what we are going through today is worse than what the country went through during the emergency in terms of the impact on democracy and democratic institutions. So, one way of looking at it is how safe are the fundamental rights of people today compared to what they were during the emergency? Secondly, what is the health of our regulatory institutions like the judiciary, media, and other institutions like Human Rights Commission or Election Commission or Comptroller and Auditor General, etc., today as compared to what they were during the emergency. Now, if we look at what is happening today in this country, on the one hand, we are seeing a very, very brutal assault on fundamental rights of people, uh, the kind of assault that is virtually like the kind of assault that we saw during the emergency, when thousands of people have been picked up and arrested in connection with the Delhi riots. Most of them are very innocent, peaceful activists who were just participating in the anti-CAA protests. Then there is a very serious assault on the freedom of speech, both by if you say anything against this government, you are likely to be charged with sedition, you are likely to be trolled and abused on the social media, you are also likely or possibly lynched on the streets by these goons who act in concert with the police wherever the BJP is in power. So, our fundamental rights are being brutally assaulted. Secondly, the institutions like the judiciary, media, CAG, Election Commission, etc., they have also been largely suborned or compromised by this government. If you
Mhm.
see the state of the judiciary, you find that the courts are not willing to take up matters which are inconvenient to the government, which the government doesn't want it to take up, such as habeas corpus petitions from Kashmir, the issue of the lockdown in Kashmir, even issues relating to migrant labor during this COVID, or the cases challenging the validity of the
Mhm.
Citizenship Amendment Act, etc.
Yeah.
So the judiciary has collapsed. The media has also collapsed in the sense that most of the media is not willing to question the government, and they are happy to become propaganda arms of the government.
Mhm.
The same thing is happening to the Election Commission, the CAG, etc. Therefore, therefore, I say that even without a formal declaration of emergency, the country's democracy and fundamental rights and regulatory institutions have been severely throttled by this government today.
Sir, now also talking about UAPA, which the government has passed, do you think UAPA in its current form and shape has been misused by the government, or it is like not being misused? It is being operated in the way it is supposed to be, or is the government exploiting it? What do you think about this?
No, it is being totally misused by this government. UAPA is being slapped against journalists in Kashmir who have said things which the government doesn't like. UAPA is being used against these young activists who participated in the anti-CAA protests. It's supposed to be an anti-terror law. Can't use it against journalists who say some things which the government may not like, or against activists who are protesting against the Citizenship Amendment Act. It's their right. May or may not agree with it, but it is their right.
Mhm. Sir, now also talking about PM CARES Fund, which is in a lot of debate and deliberation nowadays. Uh, the PM CARES Fund does not fall under the category of RTI and it cannot be audited by CAG. Do you think it is transparent medium or it can be more transparent or should it come under RTI and be audited?
Of course, it should come under RTI and be audited. It is a fund which the government is collecting from corporations, from individuals, etc., from foreign organizations, supposedly to fight the coronavirus.
Hmm.
They have amended the Companies Act in order to make the PM CARES fund eligible for this the um, the social funds which are exempt tax exempted by companies, etc. Now, how can such a fund just be a secret private trust created uh, by the prime minister or by the government, controlled by the prime minister himself, without any transparency, without any CAG audit? It's
Hmm.
totally wrong. Totally wrong. It's a abuse of power, abuse of funds. And you've collected thousands of crores in this fund, and nobody knows how it is being spent. Who is deciding where it will be spent?
Hmm. So, India-China relations have deteriorated and it's really not good, as experts are saying. Also, Nepal has issued a new map in which they are claiming some territories which are part of India. Do you think, you know, India-China relationship is better under Narendra Modi government? How do you see this whole development and the situation?
No, it is very evident that India-China relationship has become much worse under this government, despite Mr. Modi having made so many personal visits to China and inviting the Chinese Prime Minister, etc. And this is because of the misguided policies that they have followed on Kashmir. They have made Ladakh into a union territory, and that is probably um, what has provoked China for to do what they have done in the Ladakh border. So, contrary to what this government and Mr. Modi wants to project, they have ruined our relations with most of our neighbors, including with Nepal. Uh,
Mhm. Sure. Sir, recently there have been alleged custodial killings in Tamil Nadu. The government is saying that it is willing to give the case to CBI. There was a bill which was tabled in the parliament in 2010, if I'm wrong, if I'm not wrong, the anti-torture bill. Do you think it is time for that bill to become law, given the situation in terms of police brutality?
yes, unfortunately, despite the Supreme Court's judgment for police reforms, which was 14 years ago in 2006,
Hmm.
police reforms in this country have not been done, and the police still remains a kind of political instrument of the government, and that is why the police is also allowed to abuse their authority for custodial violence, for extracting bribes from people, etc. Um, and it is high time, and this rampant police brutality, rampant custodial violence in this country, it is high time that this anti-torture bill was brought in. It's unfortunate that for 10 years that bill is still hanging fire. It was passed by the Lok Sabha,
Hmm.
but thereafter it has been stalled.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you so much for
Okay.
speaking with the Logical India.